Okay, with this fandom, this is sure to be a fun one. Hello everyone, it's Woolish. In case you didn't read the title or didn't check out the thumbnail, this is going to be a short video essay and analysis going over the final confrontation between Starlight and the Deep for The Boys Season 5. If you guys haven't checked that out, I would suggest going and at least looking at the scene on Prime's YouTube page, linked in the description, or going about and watching it on Prime Video on Amazon or certain other sites, if you so choose. But without further ado, let's get into the analysis. Okay, so initially going into starting the scene, the boys had just finished going through the very bottom of the White House after being shot at and kind of guided from the upstairs area from Ashley. Yay, more character redemption for Ashley. She lets the group know where Homelander is and that they, should take him out. Sweet. So, naturally, they make their way to the Oval Office where he's at. On their way, they encounter the Deep, who seems to have been crying. Noticing the boys, he quickly attempts to compose himself. Butcher asks about it, but he deflects to Starlight, saying he'd kill her and Homelander would finally see his worth as a member of the Seven. As we know, this season has been a lot for Kevin. Between the incident with the oil company, his rejection from the ocean, and finally being dropped from the Seven altogether, it's been a lot for him. So with that, he's more than ready to try and earn back that position with Homelander, no matter how much of a lost cause he seems to be. Starlight is confident, though, that she can take him, which she blasts the two of them out of the White House windows entirely, going all the way out to the coastline and the beaches. I see many people criticize this action because why would you take Aquaman basically to the ocean where he's most powerful? The thing is, a lot of people forget to recognize that Starlight, in fact, didn't know about what happened at the ocean. In fact, I feel like she was trying to give him a way out of the situation that he was in. He's so attuned with the water, why not swim out and start a new life for himself? Why not bring him to an area where he'd be most calm and attuned with his abilities? And of course, if things went wrong, Starlight could always just fly out of there. She is gone. So, back with that, from the moment the two emerge from the rubble, all Annie does is back away from Kevin and try to speak with him while Kevin is throwing punches. Why are you doing all this, huh? Risking your life for a man who wouldn't even piss on you if you were on fire. This is a confrontation more than a fight. A well-deserved and waited for one at that. Annie/Starlight has always been relatively uncomfortable around the Deep, and of course, for good reason. Since day one, since episode 1, Kevin has always been her abuser, or a man who has caused her just deep discomfort since the very beginning. He took advantage of his position as Homelander's right-hand man and held that over Annie. But over time, she has become more and more confident over herself and over adapting some fearlessness over Kevin. Through the past 5 seasons, we've watched Annie grow from that trauma to further confront the Deep, and this scene in particular has finally satisfied many fans, giving them what they want, action rather than just words. But back to the dialogue, Kevin refuses to believe that. He refuses to believe this power, that Homelander would just drop him like that. He's his right-hand man. Why would he just suddenly stop caring about Kevin? Even though he said that he didn't care about him directly to his face, but, in his eyes, he refuses to believe that truth, and after this fight, Homelander will surely see his worth back into the Seven, right? On to our next bit of dialogue. Listen, I know you're scared. I'm not scared of shit. Again, this goes back into Kevin not wanting to admit he's lost that power and that confidence over so much of the situation, and, of course, over her as a whole. More than that, on a slightly different level than that, Kevin working to cover up his fears and covering up his crying also bleeds into his ideals that have been shown over the season and its successors of Kevin in this toxic masculinity that he seems to have coursing through him. They even go as far as to make him, in a previous episode, a podcast host with Noir, parodying many of similar podcasts that we see today, specifically in episode 6, with ideals like, oh, boys don't cry, you're the man, you're not supposed to be scared, are you really going to let a woman be above you? All of these themes that have been echoed through Kevin's character through the entire show's run. Once again, Annie tries to get on his level and bear with him, despite how much of a pain he's being and how much he doesn't want to listen. You're scared of Homelander, and he doesn't have any respect for you. Why not leave? Annie's giving him a way out. In my eyes, this is Annie giving him a chance at redemption, giving her abuser and a man she has been uncomfortable with since the beginning a chance to leave. She took him to the ocean at a chance of letting him get away from it all and redeem himself. Kevin doesn't take the bait, but he instead persists like he has through the whole conversation. You and that fucking mouth of yours. He continues to avoid the truth, deflecting it back to her and her behavior. This isn't about me. This line, said by Annie, also reflects something that Homelander said previously about things not being about Kevin. I feel like that is such a good detail, I'm sorry. He persists and insists that the whole situation is Annie's fault. His loss of fame, his loss of respect through the Seven, through the ocean itself rejecting him. This all began when she just showed up in the Seven. Of course, we know Kevin did it to himself, and Starlight makes it blatantly clear, calling him out on it. She says this in her words before begging Kevin to take accountability for his wrongs and actions like the adult man that he is, which naturally most would try to do that, right? But Kevin doesn't. He just roll the clip. No! That I wish I made that up. I was in awe seeing that. I laughed. And I think many other fans did too. This has been memed around. Kevin just yells and rushes directly for Starlight. The whole scene, all Starlight does is get Kevin alone to talk. And he turns it on its head when he's not accepting her attempt to try and give him redemption and make him good again. Through it all, Starlight still has to go in and fight him. And this has led us to the very pinnacle of the scene, her pushing him directly into the ocean after several hits. And the thing is, many people criticize Starlight for that. Oh, she killed him. Oh, this is totally not in character. How could she have known the ocean hated him? She wasn't trying to kill him. Through the entire confrontation, she's been good to Kevin and trying her best, and it just led to that. That is not a fault of hers. She didn't know. Even after the scene, she looks stunned at him just getting dragged down. And without much left to say, I feel like this could conclude our video. Kevin's actions led him directly to this point. That's our moral of this right now. Have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed the analysis. Feel free to discuss in the comments if you wish. Have a good one!